Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day, thanks in a large part to our friends at the VFS School of Game Design. Thank you so much, Vancouver Film School. Now, today's rundown is dedicated to Sonic 7 Emeralds, who liked that I knew what I was talking about and asked some pretty good questions to Aaron Weber from Sega about Sonic Forces. Thank you, Sonic 7. This rundown's all yours. Another big Star Wars movie has lost another big director. Disney and Lucasfilm have announced that Star Wars Episode 9 will no longer be helmed by Jurassic World director Colin Trevorrow. In a statement, the studio says that the decision to part ways with Trevorrow was a mutual one, with his creative vision for the film differing from theirs. That's the official story, so what really went down? According to various trade papers like Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, Lucasfilm was unsatisfied with Trevorrow's progress on the script, with him and Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy in particular butting heads over the direction of the film. This is just the latest in a long line of behind-the-scenes controversies for the Star Wars franchise. Earlier this summer, Lucasfilm abruptly fired Han Solo movie directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller after nearly finishing production on that film. At least the studio thought to replace Trevorrow before shooting as opposed to after. This raises obvious questions about why the studio executives behind Star Wars seem to have so much trouble with their directors, something that you don't see nearly as often on other big-budget movies. At the time we're filming this, they haven't said who might replace him on Episode 9, but prolific producer Victor Lucas has expressed an interest. Whoever directs the movie won't have a lot of time because production is still slated to begin early next year, with a release date scheduled for summer 2019. And another big Star Wars adventure is about to come to an epic conclusion. Disney has announced that the fourth and final season of the animated series Star Wars Rebels will premiere on Monday, October 16th with an hour-long episode. Fans can expect things to get more and more intense as the show builds to its finale. Executive producer Dave Filoni has previously stated that the final season will be the darkest yet, although it will also have plenty of humor, and the fact that they know the show is coming to an end has given them plenty of time to plan the finale accordingly. The logline for the final season is All Paths Come Together, which indicates that we'll be seeing all the characters and events collide. It could also indicate that we'll be seeing the show itself come closer in line with the Star Wars movies set around the same time, with even more appearances by characters from the original film. Wow, that cartoon version of Tarkin looks almost as good as the cartoon Tarkin from Rogue One. After Rebels comes to an end, Disney hasn't said what's next for the franchise on the small screen. A live-action series is rumored to be in development. It sounds like the Call of Duty franchise won't be going back to the future anytime soon. With the latest game, Call of Duty World War II taking the franchise back to its historic roots after a string of more futuristic games, it sounds like players can expect to stay in the past for a while. In a recent interview with Game Informer, Activision CEO Eric Hirshberg admits that with 4 futuristic games in a row, they may have had one too many, and hints that they'll be sticking with past settings like World War II for the foreseeable future. He adds that the Call of Duty fan community was getting fatigued with all the modern and futuristic games, something that was apparent to anyone who read the comments below the announcement trailer for last year's Infinite Warfare. Hirshberg doesn't regret the futuristic games, though. He points out that the developers came up with a lot of cool and innovative new game design ideas, and it's only in hindsight that they made one too many. Call of Duty World War II will deploy this November. Activision isn't quite finished with the future just yet, however. They've announced that Retribution, the 4th and final expansion for Infinite Warfare, will deploy September 12th as a timed exclusive on the PS4. It gives players 4 new maps as well as the final chapter in the game's Undead Zombies story campaign. The DLC should find its way to the PC and Xbox One in about a month. Resident Evil 7 players might already be seeing red thanks to all the blood and gore, and now they might be seeing Redfield. Capcom has announced that the game's new batch of DLC called Not a Hero will land on December 12th for all platforms. Not a Hero doesn't have anything to do with the indie game of the same name. It's a new story expansion for Resident Evil 7 that will thrust players into the role of Chris Redfield, one of the main protagonists from the original Resident Evil game, who takes on a new mission set after the events of the new game. Not a Hero was originally supposed to launch this spring before being pushed back, and to make up for the delay, Capcom is going to make it free for all players. They've also announced that there working on another new batch of DLC arriving the same day called End of Zoe, which won't be free but is included in the game's Season Pass. It will reveal what happened to the character Zoe Baker, whose fate was left uncertain at the end of the main game. If all this DLC for Resident Evil 7 is too hard to keep track of, you'll be happy to know that Capcom has also announced a special Gold Edition of the game that will include all of its post-launch content. That also arrives December 12th. Over in the Marvel Universe, we're getting a better idea of what to expect from the big Avengers video game. Tomb Raider developer Crystal Dynamics and their parent company Square Enix announced earlier this year that they are partnering with Marvel on a mysterious new Avengers game, but few details about the project have been revealed until now. According to several job listings on the developer's official website, the new Avengers project will be a third-person cover-based action-adventure game with fast-paced combat. The job postings also indicate that the game will have a strong emphasis on multiplayer and online integration. Basically, it sounds like it will be kind of like the recent Tomb Raider games, only with more combat and less exploration. This seems appropriate for the Avengers franchise, and we can't wait to find out more. There hasn't really been a big AAA Avengers game since the movies started coming out, just a handful of smaller mobile titles featuring the Avengers characters and the Lego games. Defunct publisher THQ had been working on a big Avengers game that would have come out at the same time as the first movie in 2012, but it was canceled. Several minutes of footage from the game have leaked online over the years though, and it looks like it would have been pretty cool. Hopefully the new Crystal Dynamics game will be even better. It will likely arrive next year around the same time as Avengers Infinity War hits theaters. You won't be able to keep up with at least one of the Joneses in the next indie movie. The son of the famed archaeologist Mutt Williams will not appear in the upcoming 5th Indiana Jones film. That's according to the movie's screenwriter David Koepp, who tells Entertainment Weekly in no uncertain terms that the character is not in the film. Mutt Williams was introduced in the 2008 movie Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where he was played by actor Shia LaBeouf and appeared to have been set up as a successor to the Indy mantle. David Koepp didn't say why the character won't return, although we can guess that it might have something to do with the fact that Shia LaBeouf had a very public falling out with director Steven Spielberg, where he admitted that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull wasn't very good. Other than Indiana Jones himself, we don't know what other characters might return in the new movie. It's expected to be Spielberg's next project to begin production, and it already has a release date scheduled for July 10th, 2020. Harrison Ford will be 78 years young when it comes out. That's it for the rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to learn more about game design, visit our pals at VFS.edu. We'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new rundown for you. In the meantime, watch some of the other material we've made, and if you dig it, hit subscribe for us, okay?